How is it 7:30 and it's already so hot? Like, oh, it's gonna be muggy and sticky and horrible today, and I'm not here for it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not here for it. Guys, welcome back to my channel. How have you been? We're in the kitchen today because this is actually the coolest place in my house to film other than my downstairs toilet, because it's only 7:30 but it's already like, well, it's roasting. Hold on, what we saying? We are saying already 18 degrees outside. It's only 7:35, so it's gonna be another hot one. Yesterday was a hot one. We had a barbecue yesterday for a friend's birthday, and their garden only gets like a little bit of shade down one side to start with, and then across the back, and we were all like hiding in the shade, like, don't want to burn, don't want to burn. I can hear Mum shouting, the tan lines, the tan lines. So I filmed last week, filmed my Sunday video. I was feeling really positive, really upbeat. I'd lost £4 according to my like at-home weigh scales. I was feeling good, and then so obviously you already know I'd had like a crap week at work anyway, and then things just got worse from there. So like I told you guys, Mum was going in for an operation on Monday, so they were in isolation, and that was already sort of, you know, shit. Like, it's a good thing for my mum, like she needed the operation, and I'm so glad that she's had it and she's finally, hopefully, going to be feeling better. And that is great, but at the same time, like any operation, you worry about that person, like, are they going to be okay, you know, is everything going to be all right? So that was already like a weight, that was already stressful. And then I went for Sunday lunch with my in-law grandparents, and it was the first Sunday lunch we've had in ages. We used to go every Sunday, but you know, COVID and whatnot. So anyway, I was having my Sunday lunch and it was fine, and then I got a phone call. So Loki had not been feeling all that great on Saturday, but nothing sort of, he had a bit of an upset stomach, but he's a dog with an upset stomach disposition anyway. So we sort of thought, oh, you know, he'll be okay. And then lunchtime, my mum and my dad rang me and were like, please, can you come and take him to the vets? He's really not right. Obviously they couldn't go because they were in isolation for Mum's operation, and so yeah, so I ended up taking Loki to the vets. He ended up actually being really quite poorly. He had an obstruction in his intestines, which was this massive great big stone, and I will put a picture of it here, and the reason being is that, oh my god, the stone was huge. And yeah, he was actually really quite poorly, and at one point on Sunday night when he was with the emergency vets, we weren't sure whether he was going to pull through, whether he was going to be okay or not. And as you can imagine, that was quite upsetting, that was quite stressful. So on top of like being upset and worried about Mum, we're then upset and worried about the dog as well. So he had to have surgery on Sunday night, so that was pretty eventful. Monday morning, first thing, like super early in the morning, Mum's got no sleep because obviously she's been up for the dog, like worrying about what's going to happen with him. And then she has to go in for her operation, and it was a mess. It was a whole mess. Dad was at home with Maya, and she didn't know what to do with herself because she's never been without Loki for that long ever. And obviously then Mum was gone, and Mum is like Maya's like whole, like everything. And so she was just stuck with Dad the whole time. She didn't know what to do with herself. Claire had to drive all the way to York, which is just, you know, it's one of the like longer runs that she has to do, and it was just one of those days where she really didn't need that. She needed to be like closer to home. But anyway, York was where she went, so that was obviously stressful for her as well. And I was in work, and we'd got people off because of COVID isolation, and we'd got people who were off sick again. It was a disaster. It was just an absolute disaster. And so yeah, my week started off stressful and sort of carried on being a bit stressful. Mum and Loki both came home, both thankfully okay, or like we were assuming, thankfully okay. They sort of been home for a couple of days, just checking on after them, sort of like looking after them, making sure they're okay, because obviously Mum can't really move around a lot or do a lot. She's got a lot of like recovery to do, and with Loki obviously sort of the same thing. So but it's easier because mum understands that she's not meant to be jumping around, and Loki not so much. So anyway, spent the week sort of backwards and forwards between here and home, just making sure I'm looking after mum. And yeah, so it has been a busy week. Having said that, I did take Slimming World meals with me. I did take my lunch with me, so every day I would get up, I would get my lunch sorted, and I would take it over to mum's and I would have my lunch there while I was there. Trying to think, what else did I do this week? Oh, I did have an Indian this week, but I had tikka chicken, which is literally just the dry chicken, so it's like tandoori chicken with salad and onions, so actually healthy choice, that was fine. And yesterday we obviously, as I said, went to our friend's house for the barbecue for his 30th, and that was lovely. I did eat a couple of things that were definitely off plan yesterday, and so when I stepped on the scales this morning, and I've put on sort of half a pound, so I'm now was it like 1911.7, and I was 1911.2 last week, so I've put on about half a pound. Yesterday I drank so many fizzy drinks. Yes, they were free, and I wish I had one because I absolutely love this drink, and I wish I could show you. One sec. Okay, so this is the drink that I have been drinking. This is the Tango Strawberry and Watermelon, and I entirely attribute this to Amy and Scott because they were the ones who introduced me to this, and I love it. But it's sugar free, so it's free on Slimming World. So, but I did drink about 5 of these, 2 Cokes. Like, obviously it was hot, but I didn't drink a lot of water because we were out at the party, so that also didn't help, along with a couple of like burgers and chicken kebabs and things. So yeah, so I'm not upset by having put on half a pound this week for my at-home way. For my Slimming World way, because obviously I was sort of a week behind, I went on Monday. Monday, like I said, was just a shit day. Mum was in the hospital, I was worried about her. Loki was at the vets, worried about her. Claire and Dad at home. Still went to Slimming World, still just, like, I'm still going. I'm keeping dedicated. And this week at Slimming World, I got my Half-Stone Award. Check me out with my Half-Stone. But not only did I get my Half-Stone Award because I lost 5.5 pounds this week, because I lost 5.5 pounds this week, I was also Slimmer of the Week. Check me out. So yeah, so I've got my Slimmer of the Week and my Half-Stone Award this week, and I was really proud of that. I was really happy about it. Our normal group leader wasn't actually there. It was just some other lady that was doing it for her, and I don't really vibe with her as much as I did Jane, so like the lady that was doing it before. So I was a bit sad to like get them while Jane wasn't there. But yeah, 2 weeks in Slimming World, £8.5 gone. Obviously I'm not expecting a loss tomorrow. I'm expecting either a maintain or maybe a slight gain tomorrow, but just because of obviously having been out for the barbecue and stuff yesterday, being hot, not drinking enough water, like entirely my own fault. But what I'm proud of myself for is the fact that this week was so crap, and easily normally I'd have been like, right, I'm just going to eat shit every day, and I'd have ordered pizza and Chinese and Indian every day, and I wouldn't have had the tandoori Indian. I'd have gone, I want this with loads of sauce and this naan bread and all of that kind of stuff. But actually, even though it's been hard for the majority of the week, I have actually still stuck on my plan. I still have been able to follow the Slimming World. I've been taking my stuff with me, and other than yesterday, you know, I was really pretty good. So I'm not upset about the fact that probably tomorrow I'm going to get a gain. And normally, so if you know me, so you know normally any kind of hint of a gain, any kind of hint of a maintain, and I am upset, like I'm really unhappy. But I'm not unhappy this time. I don't know why, I just feel a bit different about it this time. But the other thing that I have done is I've also done my measurements. So obviously the Slimming World, I look really shiny, but it's because it's so hot. Soz, guys. My Slimming World result was a really great result. Like, felt really good to get that result. Like, I literally text mum, I know she was in the hospital, but I literally text mum as soon as I got my result, and mum and dad were like, yeah, you've done really well. And I was like straight on the phone to Donna. I was like, guess what? And it's just nice to be able to share that weight loss and like feel positive about it, like moving forward. I've already lost more weight in 2 weeks at Slimming World than I had fannying around for the last I don't know how many weeks trying to sort of pretend I was calorie counting and trying to really do it on my own, because I do struggle with it. And so I'm really happy with the progress I've made with Slimming World. But also this time, so after I went to try on my dress, I took all of my measurements, and Mum and Donna, they're like my, you know, they were like, make sure you take measurements, you must take measurements, da 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 da. And I've always done slimming before where I've said, yeah, I'll take my measurements, and then I like don't. But this time I really did take my measurements. I was so proud. So I took my measurements on the 1st of June, which seems forever away now. And I was originally going to take them on the 1st of July, but I forgot because, you know, life. So I decided that I would take them again this morning. So this morning I've taken my measurements, and there's an actual change, like an actual difference in my measurements, and that's made a big difference to me, because normally I feel like I lose weight and I could lose a stone, and I can't see any difference whatsoever in my body, in myself at all. Like I could lose a stone and I don't see anything. But this is like, I've measured it, like you can't argue with the measurements, and I'm so happy that like you can actually see the measurements changing. So I will put those on the screen here for you. So I'm pretty happy. Obviously there's some areas where there's been quite a lot of change, there's some areas where there's only been like a little bit of change, but change, and like I'm happy about that. So we are going in the right direction. Finally. And although things have gone to shit in life, and I just feel like I've felt the most stressed I've felt in such a long time this week, and like I've had some lovely friends bring me flowers, and I will see if I can put a picture of the picture that Eleanor and Oliver drew for Loki as well. Like I've just had lovely people looking out for me this week, because they know I'm sort of at that point where I was really stressed. I got so much going on, and normally I can hold everything together pretty well. This week it was like we're just about holding on to everything. So to hold on to everything and to be able to sort of keep on top of my weight loss, I'm pretty happy with. As I said, this week I'm expecting sort of a maintain or a gain at Slimming World, but I'm okay with that. It is my 30th birthday at the end of this week, so I don't know what we're going to do for that, but I'm planning to be on plan all week, maybe except for Friday, and even on Friday I'm not planning on going over the top, but it is my 30th, so that's a bit crazy, isn't it? So yeah, so anyway, I hope you're all well. I hope that everyone is doing okay. I hope that if you're stuck in isolation watching my video that you're okay as well. It must be boring, but I hope you're all right. Hope that, you know, everyone is doing okay. Mum's doing okay. Painful, slow recovery, but she's okay, and that's important. That's what, you know, is keeping us going. Loki is doing okay. He is getting there slowly. It's going to be a slow process for them, but they're both okay, so we can just be thankful for that this week. And, you know, weight loss, weight gain, although important, and obviously the premise of my channel, you need to put it into focus. It is important that I'm losing weight, and that is what I want to do, but in life it is what it is. You know, there are so many other things that are more important, and so I'm just sort of thankful that those things are okay and the weight is just steady, you know. So anyway, I'm just chatting now, aren't I, for no reason. So I hope you guys are all okay. I hope you have a really nice weekend. I hope that everyone enjoys the sun, don't get burnt, put your sun cream on, hydrate, you know, all those good safety warnings, and I will see you next week when I'm 30. Crazy, isn't it, to think I'm 30 on Friday? Like, I don't feel 30. My voice sounds like I'm 30, but I don't feel 30. I don't even know what age I do feel. You asked me at the beginning of this week, it had been like 75. I felt so run down and exhausted. Maybe I feel like a good 45, 46 today. Who knows?